If you can hear my voice and you're in the back, this is probably one of the most important points of the evening where we get to hear a really personal story about the power of your generosity, the power of this community coming together to support Canuck Place families. So I encourage you to come on in, take a seat, and we get to hear from two courageous hearts about to take this stage. If you could, please give a warm welcome to Canuck Place parents, Erin and Federico Angel.
Love. Love has a way of bending time. The cliche is that time slows down when you first see the love of your life. For a parent, that slow motion moment is meeting your baby. Time slows so you can savor every moment. Every coo, every little arm stretch or face scrunch. When you're broken out of those love-struck moments, time has a way of speeding up, often faster than we want it to. For example, do you remember what you were doing 5 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago today was January 20th. That was the day that our firstborn son, Alejandro, was born. Today, February 25th, is the second anniversary of his passing.
Better known as Alejo, he was the first grandchild on both sides. As mentioned, he was born January 20th, 2021, with a head of thick, dark hair, the kind you see on commercials. He was 7 pounds and so adorable, and we were shell-shocked, exhausted, amateur parents, but we were so in love. He was perfect. One thing we noticed right away was that he only opened one eye. He was our little adorable pirate. We had 5 blissful days before we started noticing that something was terribly wrong. Before we knew it, we were in a whirlwind that included hospital visits and various tests. Time stood still the day the doctors at BC Children's Hospital told us that Alejo was diagnosed with an extremely rare and aggressive childhood cancer. And it was in every cell of his body. A malignant rhabdoid tumor with SMARCB1 presentation, so rare, there were only 9 other cases known in the entire world. The oncologist told us that some families fight it, but the treatment was so aggressive it would probably kill him sooner.
Nothing prepares you for becoming a parent until you are one. And absolutely nothing can prepare you for the moment when you're told your child is dying and there's nothing you can do. How can my child be dying when he looks so healthy? Time stood still. Through the shock, we were able to ask what his life expectancy was. The doctor said 1 year. That potential year flashed before our eyes. It was still January, so all the major holidays were ahead of us. Easter, our first Mother's Day, Father's Day, summers at the beach, Thanksgiving and Halloween would be a lot of fun. Him experiencing snow. He'd also be there to meet his cousin, who was to be born in March, and play with him at Christmas before we'd have to say goodbye. We left that initial meeting in a fog, sobbing the whole car ride home. Our families met us at our house so we could be together and hold each other through the devastating news.
Alejo was just 2 weeks old. He was so tiny and innocent when an x-ray showed we were in a losing battle. The cancer was wrapped around his airway and was going to eventually close it. We stayed the night at the hospital for observations, but we knew there was nothing that could be done. Yet everyone was still reaching for hope. The next morning, our oncologist met with us, and it was that meeting that we were first introduced to Canuck Place. We didn't take much notice of Canuck Place nurse practitioner Rachel at the time. To us, it was just one more face in the sea of hospital staff that we had met. But little did we know how important Canuck Place would become to us. In that room, Alejo in Fed's arms, we were told his life expectancy was now weeks and no longer months or even a year. It's a strange thing to be faced with a timeline when no one can tell you when it'll end, like you're walking towards a horizon that feels so far away and yet close at the same time.
One of the incredible things about Canuck Place is they give family choices, important choices for the place of care. Our options for the end-of-life care at this point were to be admitted to the hospice or be supported by Canuck Place team at home. As it was the height of COVID, we asked if our big family could visit if we stayed at Canuck Place. Rachel kindly answered that they could arrange for extended family to visit in a cozy outdoor space on the front patio. However, we chose to go home. We're extremely fortunate to have our immediate family live close by, and it was important to us that our family could be part of his life for as long as we had him. The Canuck Place nurses, doctors, and counselors always made us feel incredibly supported through our journey. When we made the decision to take him home, they helped us create a care plan to follow if he was ever in distress. We were also given a 24-hour clinical care line to call if we had any worries and a medical kit with supplies in case of any emergency. All of this gave us peace of mind, especially knowing that Canuck Place nurses were only a phone call away if we ever needed any help or answers.
And just because we took him home didn't mean we stopped trying to find a cure. We never accepted his terminal diagnosis. Or maybe we did, but fighting for a cure helped us. We wanted more time. Fed spent hours talking to doctors from all over the world, both on the phone and through emails, trying to find someone willing and able to treat Alejo's rare and aggressive condition. Our Canuck Place team and the team at BC Children's Hospital never made us feel like our efforts weren't worth the fight, even if we could see the cancer continue to grow in his little body. We called his back tumors dinosaur bumps, always trying to find the humor and happiness in our daily struggle. Our motto became, "There will be hard moments, but every day is a great day because we're together."
And each day we lived by that motto. We made sure we got out of the house to build memories with Alejo and our family. On one of our drives, it started snowing. We pulled the car over and got out so he could feel the snowflakes on his face. Our little pirate, we learned, could only open one eye because of the tumors. There were moments, though, when he would open both eyes, and you could tell he was taking everything in, absorbing the memories. Canuck Place helped us make these memories. The team floated into our lives like a summer wind. Their compassion and expertise allowed us to spend time at home with Alejo and savor our time with him. With their support, loving care, and access to call the 24-hour clinical care line, we knew we were not alone. And 3 times we used that number.
On the night of February 24th, we noticed that Alejo was struggling to breathe. We called Canuck Place and followed the pediatric palliative nurse's directions on how to care for him. The third and final call to Canuck Place was on the morning of February 25th, 2021. That day changed our lives forever. We called and asked if they could send someone to our house to assist us. It was that call that brought us Canuck Place nurse Nadine. She showed up, and to this day we are grateful that she was on call. She had such a beautiful presence and so much compassion, and it was exactly what we needed. We held Alejo in our arms. We kissed him. We talked to him. And we loved him. And Nurse Nadine was there and allowed us to be a family. She never interrupted our time, but she was there to observe and assist as needed. She helped to manage Alejo's symptoms so he could be peaceful and comfortable. And she helped create a space where we could make a few more lasting memories. At around 1:20 that day, Alejo passed in our arms on the couch where we had spent so much time as a family.
It was at that point where Canuck Place nurse practitioner Rachel walked into the room. We hadn't even noticed her arriving. With a beautiful vase and a lit candle, it was such a simple and yet powerful gesture to symbolize Alejo's passing. With him still in our arms, Rachel took imprints of his feet, explaining that he'd be making footprint pendant for us. Those silver pendants are cherished and worn often by his grandmothers today. Rachel also assisted our family members to make funeral arrangements. And she helped us navigate the darkest time of our lives in the most gentle way. It's these tiny but important details that show how much Canuck Place cares about each child and each family.
A few days after Alejo's passing, we had our first meeting with Canuck Place counselor Mary. Her presence and skill has been impactful on our whole family. Meeting once a week for the first couple months, Mary helped us in our way to find meaning in losing Alejo. She provided compassion when we needed it, gave advice when necessary, and created a space where we could begin our healing journey. Without Mary, we would not be where we are today. Mary had counseling sessions with our extended family as well. And for the whole family to be able to access services like specialized grief and bereavement counseling without having to worry about how to pay for it is another way that Canuck Place supports families going through the most difficult time in their lives.
We're still able to meet with Mary whenever we need her, and we do.
Yeah.
If we had an hour to speak just about what Mary has done for us, we couldn't even scratch the surface. Through the work we've done individually, as a couple, as a family, and with our counselor Mary, we've been able to fulfill the promise we made to Alejo, that we would continue to celebrate each day. You're always tethered to the loved ones you have lost, but we don't see Alejo as our anchor. Instead, he is our kite, lifting us up gently and always guiding us forward.
Alejo taught us that you can't control the length of your life, but you can control the width and the depth of it. Though we live with the grief of not having Alejo with us, he truly taught us how to love and be better parents. We were trying to be those parents for his baby brother, Santiago, who we welcomed last year. Time is a way of bending, shifting, and stretching as you need it to. Our time with Alejo felt like 6 months at least, yet on the calendar it was just 5 short weeks. Canuck Place supported us in such a beautiful way that we could make the most of every moment that we had with Alejo. For that, and for so many other reasons, we want to thank Mary, Nadine, Rachel, and our whole team at Canuck Place for their incredible support.
We will never escape the grief of losing our son, but what he taught us is that grief doesn't come without love. You only experience true grief if you have truly loved. My father always told me that the only way to begin to heal from a loss is to understand and embrace love. That the way to survive grief is with love. We want to give a special thank you to our family and our friends who held us up when our legs couldn't. We're forever grateful. We love you.
And we also want to thank Alejo's Army for their love and support, which helps us to be in a space where we can stand on this podium today. And all of you here, thank you for welcoming us to share our son's story. Your donations allowed this incredible care and gave us the gift of precious time and so many memories with Alejo. When you give tonight, you're donating to families like ours. You're truly giving the gift of times with the ones we love, and there's no greater gift than that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Erin and Fed, I hold some extra space for you tonight in the tenderness of Alejo's anniversary. His light has shone through your courage to speak to us today, and I see your love for him continues to provide strength. It was an honor to be a part of your world during your most vulnerable time. The way in which you allowed us in with such grace and with such a focus on loving Alejo, it was remarkable. Thank you for sharing some of Alejo's light with us, and thank you for sharing your story tonight. My name is Rachel, and I'm one of the nurse practitioners at Canuck Place. I'm fortunate to be a part of the community care program, providing care to families like the Angels in their homes, as well as caring for children and families at our Abbotsford Canuck Place Dave Letty House. The work we do and the choices we're able to offer families with respect to their location of care is made possible by the support of folks like you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding this family up in love tonight.
Thank you, Rachel. I have heard the family's deep gratitude that they had the choice to be at home supported by Canuck Place Care. My name is Mary, and I am a counselor at Canuck Place. It has been my honor to walk alongside Fed and Erin and their extended loving family for the last 2 years of this incredibly difficult path. I've seen so many ways this family's come together to allow Alejo's light to shine, giving hope and care to other families. The quality of life of a child is integral to our work, and we also grow as human beings with each family journey. Canuck Place has important rituals. We gather every week as our team for our clinical rounds. At the beginning of our meeting, we pause in silence, and we honor each child who's died the week prior by lighting a candle. It's your generosity that makes the care of each child and family possible, whether they're at home, in hospital, or in one of our hospices. So I invite you now to join us and honor Alejo's life and light.
was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Thank you guys so much. I'm super glad to be here and to support the Canuck Place. I would love to sing another song if that's okay with you guys. Okay, let's get to it. Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound, burning in a hopeless dream. Hold me when you go to sleep. Keep me in the warmth of your love when you depart. Keep me safe, safe and sound. Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound. Drowning in an endless sea, take some time to stay with me. Keep me in the strength of your arms. Keep me safe, safe and sound. Lift me up, hold me down, keep me safe, safe and sound. Lift